Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the practice log. Guess what time it is? It's another night session, I know. Yeah, so, we have a lot of work to do today. Let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? Alright, back to the old grisly grind. I asked what time it is. It's actually beer o'clock. How about a can of Sierra Nevada from the mountains of Spain itself? What the heck are these things? Get these out of here. No socks today. No socks ever. I'm done wearing socks. Welcome to my home. I don't wear socks here. You know that. You're used to it. Okay, I'm ready to have a pretty solid practice session tonight. So, what's on the docket? The Morel Sonata, Movement 2. You heard that yesterday. I'm still gonna focus on it today. And I'm also gonna focus on the rest of the Morel Sonatina, excuse me. I'm gonna try to put a little more work into the Latin pieces as well, because I didn't look at that too much yesterday. That's Lamentos Tomorrow. I'm kind of still looking at the Villalobos, but I'm also now starting to look at that Targa tremolo piece. I forget what it's called. You guys know the one. I kind of want to start working on Villalobos Etude 1 again as well, and maybe like learn those side by side. Alright, I think that is enough preamble. Let's get to the part that we're all waiting for. I've been taking this time to answer comment questions, so let's take a look at the comments section. Here's one that we can go into. I just talked about Villalobos Etude 1, but this one is from Ridicules, friend of the channel. What's up, man? How's it going? So you're starting it off strong. Thanks for the shirts backstory. I had been wondering on why you wear shirts. Dude, one of these days I'm gonna stop wearing them, mark my words. Speaking as someone who pretty much never wears shirts, you're doing it right, man. That's how you should do it. Apart from work, in an office. What a drag. Anyways, thanks for wearing socks today. Ooh, sorry, man. Okay, and this is gonna go somewhere. I'm just going through everything. And then you sent me a video of a guitarist doing something, and you can very clearly see some bulge, which, that happens. You can see my entire body for these videos, so that is something that I'm conscious of sometimes. That's a really great thing about wearing such large shirts. Usually don't have to worry about it. Your actual question, on a slightly more serious note. So I'm referring to your other part of the question, which first you're acknowledging how I said if you're practicing a piece that has a strict rhythm, try like swinging the rhythm or like vary it in some way. If it's all triplets, make it duple and do like da 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 da, like that kind of thing. So you said that you've been using the swing thing for Villalobos Etude 1. I have too. That's a good strategy. Although it doesn't really help with the position changes. Any tips for that? Yes, I do have tips for that. So this is, let me actually grab my guitar. This is kind of unprecedented, but I'm actually gonna bring you closer as well. All right, whoa. Up close and personal, am I right? So this is something that my guitar teacher in college taught me with this one, and it's my strategy for effectively changing between the chords. You're only ever playing one note at a time, right? If you're able to grab the notes in the order of your fingers actually hitting the string, and then same thing here, when I switch back, even just to E minor, I grab that first, and then that. And then same thing here. See that right there? Like when I go to that. And then this here. Boom, boom, boom. And then this. I don't even switch to that G sharp until I'm like halfway through. And now this, index, pinky. So I'm always grabbing the notes in the order that they're gonna come. And then that's especially important when you get to this diminished chord here. Even though that's a common diminished chord that you can probably get to really easily, even when I go to it. It seems obvious, but I remember it was very challenging to actually incorporate that. But once I did, I was pretty consistently able to switch between those chords. So if you haven't done that yet, I would start there, because it's a lot easier to grab one note at a time than it is to grab an entire chord. In fact, I would say it's impossible to grab an entire chord all at once, every single time perfectly. But yeah, if you do that, it'll just work, in the words of Boss Rudin. Yeah, so hopefully that answers that question. That is that. There was more to unpack in that comment about Boss Rudin and Barrios and fighting and all that. But I've been sitting in this chair for a while, and it is time to get to it. I'm going to go ahead and head to the practice bench. Hopefully that helped. If anybody else has any more questions about that one, or if I didn't explain it well enough, feel free to ask it. That's kind of my advice for any sort of large chord change as well. Don't go for all the notes at once. All right, well, let's go ahead and make our way to the piano bench, shall we? All right, and I feel like I do need to mention, when I first saw your comments, that your username was Ridicules, like you were a ridiculer. Like that's what you identified with. Ridiculin. That's actually your name, though. Ridiculess. And I read it as ridiculous. Ridiculess. I hope I'm saying that right. But I just wanted to acknowledge that. I don't mean to be insensitive. I feel like you can handle it, though. You seem like you can handle it. Let's start things off, as usual, the Morel Sonata. I'll see you on the other side. I think that's about enough for me, so let me bring you closer. I know it's empty when I say this, but I really think the first movement of the Morel Sonata is coming along. I'm gonna play that for you, from memory. I'll just take the first repeat, how about that? That was my second take. I think that one went a little bit better, so I'm gonna show that one. All right, cool. Well, I think that one's coming along. You saw the new fingering, that that little diminished chord, or that big diminished chord rather. I think that fingering is coming along swimmingly. I have some stuff that I kind of want to go into next, so let's make our way to the computer, shall we? We're not gonna go into the Manuel Barwaco. That's how you say it, I'm pretty sure. I think I got it this time. We're not gonna go into that documentary. We are going to introduce ourselves to a new flippin' character. Let's see what Elliot Fisk's, oh, here we go. This is an Elliot Fisk video, classical versus electric guitar. There are other channels doing instrument versus instrument. Oh, heck yeah. Lynn! Triangle Circle! Robert Beester, Guitar Concerto. Never heard of it. You've been called the Devil's Guitarist. Oh god, what I would give to have that title. With that in mind, do you ever go over to the dark side of guitar playing? Do you ever dabble in the dark arts and pick up an electric guitar and play some Jimi Hendrix? Dude, what a sin. Do you ever sin? That's like what they're asking him, basically. Are you the guitar messiah, or are you a sinner like everybody else?
I don't really have a feel for the electric instrument. I admire people who do. I mean, I pick the thing up and I don't know.
Dude, make yourself comfortable, Fisk. Oh my god, what are you doing? You know, I really admire the... I'm gonna do the rest of it like this.
To do with it, it's just, it's a solid piece of wood, it's heavy, the strings are all steel.
The strings are all steel. Dude, he saw some stuff when he said that one.
The sound
is he in like therapy right now? What's going on? Are we supposed to be watching this?
Is created through electronic means. So you're really playing with a whole different set of parameters. The classical guitar is almost the opposite of the electric guitar. I certainly admire the stage presence and the genius of Jimi Hendrix. I mean, it's just extraordinary.
He's being nice. That's a very nice classical guitarist. If you asked me, I'd be like, he's aight. He ain't nothing special. I'm just kidding. I'm joking, by the way. Don't type anything in the comments about that.
A great presence, a cultural icon. He's in so much a revolutionary figure. And you know, when he played that national anthem at Woodstock, right in the midst of the Vietnam War, played this tortured, sort of verfremdet, the Germans would say.
You know, I have to say, that was always like such a legendary solo growing up. Like my dad would talk about it. Everybody, like who doesn't talk about the Woodstock Jimi Hendrix solo? But man, I showed it to one of my students without having seen it since I was a kid. I was trying to like get to the good part and I was like, oh, there's like, I can't find the good part. I mean, he's given a lot of, like, he's like an artist analyzing it, talking about the tortured, like, yes, sure. All right, I don't have that context. I'm a little boy compared to him. But man, I listened to it and I was like, oh yeah, this is, I don't know if we can learn this, but you could probably just kind of play along with it. I know that's gonna ruffle feathers, but that's just what I heard.
Revoicing of the national anthem, which had been so tarnished by the racism at home, violence plus racism in Vietnam. There's such black stains on the American conscience.
If you're gonna be an artist about it, it is pretty good, sure. But if you're gonna be like an idiot just looking at it like me, you can be like, it doesn't sound that good to me. I should probably cut everything I just said. I've only ever listened to it without context though, so give me a break. I'm like backpedaling like crazy now. I don't even know where to go. Oh my god.
That ability to be so inside the zeitgeist and to so capture the mood. And plus, you know, he's such a beautiful looking person.
I didn't think he'd go there, but I respect him for that. That's very important for guitar playing. You must be beautiful. Remember that, everybody. I'm just kidding.
In some of the interviews I've seen, a surprisingly shy person, you know. The guitarists have this thing about two faces of the coin, one part really extroverted and one part extremely shy and withdrawn and reclusive. Guitarists have that very strongly. If you meet the person and you know the instrument they play, you know an awful lot about their psyche.
Yeah, dude, you sound like a horoscope right now. I feel like most people can be introverted and extroverted. Yeah, like guitar is kind of an introverted instrument. But honestly, like every instrument's kind of introverted. What instrument do you not have to practice alone, even if you're playing in a group or a symphony? I have levels of introversion. I like to be by myself a lot. I also don't. Just like horoscopes, when people talk about your horoscopes. It's kind of always right, because it fits to everybody. That's what he sounds like to me right now.
We can tell a lot about a person if we see the person in front of us and know the instrument. Already you know a lot of things about them, sort of in an int.
Really? You know a lot just by seeing the person and their instrument? I wish that we could have some examples. DALL-E is just like a regular tool. Alright, I'm asking, show me a random person with random style playing a random instrument, generate 9 images. This is just gonna be an exercise on judging people. That's all this is gonna be. Okay, they're all playing guitar. Okay, great. This guy just has sheet music. Maybe he's a singer, actually. I don't know. Oh my god, look at her hands. Ew, what is going on there? Her hands look like spaghetti. Oh, what can you tell about this fella? He needs to get a classical, that's what. All these people need to get a classical. There we go, that's what I'm talking about. Maybe playing some Bach. I think that's a drum next to her. I can't tell anything about any of these people. This guy's a jazzer, I can tell that. This guy's a nerd. She's a jazzer. He's a jazzer, but he sucks. Let's see. Oh, well, I mean, that's just wonderful. What can you tell about this guy? He doesn't know what he wants in life. Like, he probably goes through partners pretty fast. You know, kind of a player, Stephen Ridley type. He's got his bow on multiple instruments, if you know what I'm saying. This dude looks like he's playing an acoustic bass. Maybe he's in a bluegrass band. I don't know. Oh, dude, the dual mics. This guy's an audio producer right here, I can tell that. He has the XY mics here. That's pretty cool. Was that worth taking the time to do that? I hope so.
Even rock guitarists, who seem to be the most extroverted, you know, and almost sometimes obscenely extroverted.
Yeah.
Have also got this very hurt little child in there somewhere. That's...
I mean, to be fair, like, I think every single one of us has a hurt little child in us. I feel like artists are always trying to take pain away from everyone else. Even software engineers feel pain.
The guitar is such a personal instrument. You know, you pick it up, you touch it with both hands. Your fingers are right on the strings. In the case of a keyboard instrument like piano, or obviously...
Oh, in the case of a keyboard, you're just pressing buttons. Now you're really programming if you're doing that. There's no difference.
Piano, the key is here, and it's connected to this hammer, and it comes out, and the strings are way back inside the instrument. You're not touching the strings.
What a stupid concept, right? Yeah, Elliot Fisk is on the guitar side. I like that.
In the case of guitar, you've got your fingers, your hands on the strings. You're touching the strings all the time. In the case of a classical guitar, the tiniest little imprecision of motion creates a train wreck. It's a very interesting instrument. You know, I've always thought of the classical guitar as in an extroverted way. People always say, oh, it's such a quiet, delicate instrument. It can be quiet and delicate, but I've never conceived of the guitar as quiet and delicate. It exults and it grieves and it weeps. It goes through every possible human emotion.
This guy is deep in the guitar side. In like 10 or 15 years, I'll be in that chair saying stuff like this at the beginning of every log. It experiences every human emotion. It's ba-ba-ba. So, a new character. Hopefully I didn't talk over most of that. I have a feeling that I did. We'll learn more about Elliot Fisk's personality in future episodes. Alright, well, it's time for me to wrap it up for the night. So, let's go ahead and do the outro. Alright, well, hopefully you enjoyed that. And if you made it this far, you know, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, all that stuff. And if you have any questions about anything, be sure to leave a comment, or if you just want to say hi, that's okay. There's no standard for the comments. I know that you might be intimidated by all the very long and thoughtful comments that I get, but that's all just extra credit. You can just comment hi, and that's fine too. Pretty much ends it for this one. So, I'll see you tomorrow.